Who is there a song? I'm not good with songs that's all about that juice. Is it Lizzo? For some reason, every time I read
I've no idea.
juice, I pictured a dystopian future where Lizzo is the ruler and they're all just addicted to her juice. Right? That's one of the futures. It's just Lizzo.
Ruler Lizzo.
Yeah, right? She's the empress of Baracus and all the ones. And she made a drug called her juice. Sorry.
Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of everyone's favorite podcast, the Critical Arcade Podcast. I'm your co-host, Nick.
And I'm Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. You well?
Yes, I'm well. I'm also loved.
You're loved.
Loved, isn't that nice?
That's a lovely way to start things. Yes, you've got lovers in the air, is it?
Well, yes. We also just had Mother's Day.
Of course, yes, of course, as we all do. To appreciate
and Trudy being a mother of 4, we had a nice big chunky Mother's Day.
It must be kind of a lot for for you, because you've got to arrange all the kids to arrange the things for your wife, right? You know, the little presents, the little breakfast in the mornings and stuff like that. It's like, you do this one and you do this and I'll take the babies and we'll all go in and say Happy Mother's Day. It must actually be quite a feat to arrange everything.
Eventually, I think it's going to be, but now it's not just yet, because only one of them can truly understand instructions.
That's true. So you just chuck all the kids on the bed and say, "Yay, Mother's Day."
Yes, one at a time, like one of those construction workers throwing bricks or bags of cement.
Yes, you just chuck one across. Okay, that's fair enough. That's Mother's Day. It's still great.
I can ask Flynn to give Mom the present or her coffee or whatever. Thomas is just going to follow along because he's just happy to
just be amongst it. Yeah,
exactly. And the twins fart.
Well, for Mother's Day, I can only imagine they're just cute and delightful, and
that's enough.
They're loving farts, right?
True, because they've just started smiling, and according to the book we're following, Baby Sense, they can recognize our faces.
How old are they now? Sorry, just so I can.
3 months.
Okay, so 3 months.
And a half months.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they were born prematurely, so
yeah, of course. So now they can actually recognize mum and dad, right?
Yes.
That's cool. So, full of love. You've had a great, busy week of it with everybody else the same, I'm sure, with Mother's Day and appreciating what they do for us.
It is. To any mothers listening to this podcast, Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Although I highly doubt there are any mothers listening.
Oh, yeah, there are. Come on.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Of course there are mothers listening.
They're driving their kids to school with this playing and doing, enjoying a mimosa outside on the pool or on a beach. At least that's how I see it.
True. Their favorite episode is It Takes Two.
Of course. And I think Stellar Blade.
Stella Blade, of course, yes. I don't know if Eve is a mom. I've no idea.
No. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. That question is debatable by what ending you get in Stellar Blade.
What?
See, I knew that was going to get you.
What? What are you telling me? I need to play Stellar Blade some more.
You need to complete it.
Honkai Star Rail, there's some waifus in there that can be considered mommies.
Well, definitely. There's a lot of people out there that do consider them mummies. Not in the conventional sense. But yes, you're right. Okay, Star Rail's got potentially a ton of mums. There's a ton of mums in gaming, by all accounts.
I can't find any other moms on our list. Overwatch 2, we've got Ana, mother of Farah.
Lovely. I'm sure, what's the Metroid woman called?
Oh, Samus.
I'm sure you're killing monsters and saving the world during the day. I'm sure she goes back home and just rocks being a mother, raising kids, teaching them how to put on their suits and roll into a small little ball.
I've absolutely no idea. I'm Googling it. Is Samus Aran a mom?
It's never been Googled before. Is she? She can't.
No, Samus Aran is not a mother. She's an intergalactic bounty hunter.
I love the idea that you just went and online it just said no. Don't even think that.
No,
Not a
you're
chance. Where would she balance being a mother and a bounty hunter of galactic proportions? It's just not possible. That said, I'd play that game. I would play that game where she, like Sims. You're same as at home, and then you go to work and they come back. Yeah, that'd be great.
That's the perfect meta narrative for the Metroid games. You're Samus Aran. You need to protect your kids.
Yes, I'd watch that. I'd play that. I'd do everything. Listening. Who's that? Nintendo.
That's good. Nintendo, if you'd like to take our idea, we'll sue you if.
But come on, Nintendo. You know all about suing people, so by all accounts they'd expect it.
Yeah, we'll be good friends.
Yes.
Okay. Good intro.
Fun times.
Let's get into this week's game. Dave, how would you tell us what have we got lined up?
Well, today is the Indie 500 episode because we get to get our hands on a fun indie game, which I'm sure anybody out there knows indie games are kind of knocking it out the park compared to AAA games.
Definitely.
And I don't need to name them because you all know which ones are just kind of screwing the pooch out there. So today we got to play a game called Gemini Rue, a 2011 game, which the name doesn't really qualify what type of game it is at all, does it?
No.
I've played the game quite a lot, and I don't even know what Gemini Rue is. Have you come across why Gemini Rue?
Oh, Gemini is the star system this game takes place in.
See, that is something that I would just glance over when I was reading the narrative and stuff like
that. That's the narrative of this game. The Gemini star system, after the final war, is now completely independent, but due to corrupt politics, is now being run. The majority of the Gemini star system is now run by the. What are they called? The Boryokuden?
Correct. That's very true. Strangely enough, the whole of the galaxy is run by a Japanese gang, which is just fun, but it's not entirely ruled out of our future, I suppose.
No, I don't. I think this game takes a very narcissistic look. Not narcissistic. Pessimistic?
Pessimistic, yes, that's true.
Pessimistic look at what our future could be in 400 years.
That's true. Anyway, it was I love this bit. I love doing these bits. This is developed by a guy, not a company.
A dude.
A dude. His name's Joshua Nuremberger, which, God, sometimes I love foreign names. Nuremberger is a great surname. I don't know why. It's just fun to say. I'm Nuremberger.
Because it almost sounds like neuron and burger.
It sounds like one of those 90s, 80s like villain names. Hi, Mr. Bond. I'm Joshua Nuremberger, and that, yes, is my laser. It's just, I don't know, there's some cool names. And I was checking him out. He designed this game. He did the graphics. He did the gameplay. He did, of course, got some voice actors to do the voice acting. But he also, I was looking, funnily enough, you can find his CV online, which was kind of cool. He helped design a drone app for Navy SEALs.
Whoa!
To use.
What?
Like a super secret app on their phones so they can send drones into the battlefields and stuff like that. For the Navy SEALs! So that's not even like frontline stuff. This is like high-tech, like Splinter Cell level of Navy SEAL type things.
Goodness.
Which I thought was cool. And then he also just works like a 9 to 5. He's in the gaming biz. He works.
Of course he does. Is he one of those guys that just is exceptional at everything he touches?
He seems like it, because how do you make a fully fleshed out game that, let's point out, won GameSpy Adventure Game of the Year in 2011 and PC Gamer Adventure Game of the Year in 2011.
Not surprised.
So he won accolades for a game he basically made himself as a side product from I think he was at university at the same time, so he was doing his graduate degree or something like that, and he made this game. It's like,
casual.
Damn. Like, what you doing? Oh, just making this game. It just won awards.
Just making this award-winning game. No
yeah,
biggie.
Exactly. And it's now ported to the Android and the Apple Store, which is, I don't know. Ladies and gents, this is a point-and-click adventure game, if you know what those are. On the same lines as, what was it, like Monkey Island.
That's right.
Day of the Tentacle.
Steel Sky something.
Isn't that Under Steel Sky or something? Beneath a Steel Sky.
Full Throttle, that's another one.
Oh, that's a great game. I hope that comes up soon. I love Full Throttle.
If you're listening, Full Throttle.
I just don't know how you would play this on a phone. Like, I don't know. That seems frustrating to me. But again, maybe...
because you need to on the computer right click and left click.
Yeah, I don't. But I'm not really a mobile gamer, so maybe it does work. Maybe there's things I don't understand.
Guess so. I don't know either. But I've no idea. We reviewed this on the PC.
Yes. Like where point and click
this on my phone.
Yeah, point and click adventures belong on a PC, i.e.
Very
point
true.
And click.
Very true. That's where they belong.
That's that's the mouse's like skill. It knows clicking. You've got to use a mouse for that.
And this game harkens back to when PC games were just this.
Yes.
Sam and Max games.
Yes.
Like we said earlier, Full Throttle, Underneath the Steel Sky, Day of the Tentacle, the Indiana Jones games.
Yes. Now back in the day, the point and click adventure was the cream of the crop type games you used to get. It was, we had a few racing games and a little like weak, crappy football games. Point and clicks, they were the headline games.
Exactly.
I remember it.
I mean, that's why we got 10 King's Quest games, Space Quest games, Police Quest games.
Yeah. And Leisure Suit Larry, depending if that's your type of thing, right? Yeah, no.
Yes, Leisure Suit Larry.
So you can hear that the nostalgia to goggles are definitely switched on for the both of us because...
For sure. Which is weird because this... It's from 2011.
I know. I was actually shocked how old it was. But then again, with the point and click adventure, you always kind of think they're old because it's just the styling,
30 years old, not just 10.
Yes, true. Yeah, exactly. You played Monkey Island and the like, right? I know you've got some history.
Yes, I played all the Monkey Island games and the Indiana Jones games. That's about it, though.
You played all the Indiana Jones games?
One of them. I can't remember which one. Atlantis?
Yeah, I remember there's something to do with Atlantis. One of them is an Atlantis one. Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, though.
Let's go into the narrative. That's right. Have you got a bit of a plot synopsis?
One of the problems, okay, ladies and gents, because it's a point and click adventure, the narrative is kind of its main premise, right? You're going through a story, kind of like a visual novel, but you get to do the puzzles and stuff yourself.
Yes.
So there's a lot we can say, but there's a lot we can't say because if you want to play it, we don't want to give you the big spoilers at the end, and there are big spoilers in this game.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best things about it. I don't know what you thought about the narrative. The narrative, ladies, that you play. Initially as two people, right? You play as a gentleman named why don't I write his name down? What's his name? That's it, Azriel. He's got a cool name, right? Like somebody a 12-year-old would like come up with.
It's a biblical name.
Azriel and his surname?
I don't know.
I wrote it down somewhere. Damn it. Azriel and Delta 6.
That's
so
right.
You
Delta
actually play
6.
two different stories at once. And they kind of tie into one another. Later on, you actually unlock a third character called Soirée, a female that also, and as you can imagine, all the stories come into one. You are the initial character called, what's his name again? Azriel, sorry.
Azriel.
He's an assassin turned law enforcer who's looking for his brother Daniel, and he'll do anything to find him. And you play Delta 6. You're stuck in a facility. Your memory's been wiped, and you have to try and escape, but you don't particularly know why or how and who to trust.
Yeah, you just know you need to escape and not finish the final exam.
Yes, do not finish the final exam.
It's an interesting plot. I really like the narrative for this game. It starts strong.
Yeah.
It manages to interest the player by providing two characters in, this is it, two very different circumstances. The ones on the streets of the planet of Baracus that looks like Pittsburgh, they call it. And the other is an inmate in a high-tech facility.
That's right.
The jump between the two makes sense, but it is still so jarring. I couldn't help but be enchanted.
Yeah, it was a fun foil to one another, right? Because one is a desperate search and one is a kind of like a high-tech facility.
Escape.
Yeah, one thing I must say, it's got a weird little thing. Planet Baracus is the place they're on, or was set, right?
Yeah.
And this is going to be such a stupid thing. Do you recognize the word Baracus at all?
Well, there's Baraka from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, wow. Didn't even, collect that one.
There's a barracks in the military.
If I said I pitied the fool, does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, Mr. T says that.
Yes. Do you know what the actor's name is?
The actor for Mr. T is... I know, it's... Trevor.
He does look like a Trevor, right? With the muscles.
I don't know,
and the
just
afro.
because Trevor starts with T. What's his name?
His name is B.A. Baracus. So every time they mentioned Baracus in my head, I just heard, I pity the fool. So
I thought his name was Clubber Lang.
No. It's B.A. Baracus as Miss. I just remember watching.
So why is the planet called Baracus?
Because Mr. T is cool. What you don't?
Yes.
In a dystopian future, of course you're gonna name planets after 80s TV shows. That's just gonna happen. There's gonna be Friends. There's gonna be Seinfeld. It's just going to happen. Please. That's obvious. That's the only thing that tracks in this.
Yes, I'm not going to argue. I don't see why. Although I must admit, I don't need a reason why.
Yeah.
Just to stay on. Oh yes, hello. My name is Philip, and I live on planet Bel-Air. In the town of Fresh Prince.
Yeah, exactly. That it's funny because I kind of like, you think about the future. I kind of want that to happen. I'd love to be able to say I live on just like sitcom names for some reason.
Yes.
But anyway,
there's no space in our planet. This is Planet Full House.
Nice. Oh, that was quick. That was like quick-witted. I like it. No, it's also a weird thing, and I also, when I heard the planet Baracus, I instantly thought June, and I was like, isn't there a June planet called Baracus?
Is there?
But there's a June planet called Arrakis.
Arrakis, yes, that's the spice planet.
Yeah, so I wonder if maybe it was just a play on that. Maybe it's a nod at June games.
Yeah, I've not seen the June movies.
Sci-Fi. You should only really watch the new June movies. The old one is just bad.
I've not seen any of them.
No, I've watched the old one, not the new ones. I should watch the new ones.
Have you read the books though?
A few, but there's like 400 of them.
I've
read like the original stories, but they go on forever. Good books.
I've only read the spin-offs.
Yeah, I can understand.
Anyway,
it's just such an investment. And yes, like you said, there's also an evil syndicate called, what's it,
Boryokuden.
Which, as I looked up the word, is actually Japanese for violent people. And no, it's true.
Is that it?
It's what they used in Japanese media. The Japanese media wasn't allowed to call them Yakuza because it kind of added prominence to the gangs and their crimes and stuff. So the police were only allowed to call them the Boryokudan, as in they were violent people. They didn't want to associate it to a criminal syndicate. They just wanted to say these are violent people. It's an interesting point, and that's where you got the gang name of Boryokudan as
Boryokuden.
Whatever. Yes, I'm very bad at pronouncing these things. The bad guys.
The
bad guys to me.
Whoa, okay, and that's according to the world's. That's according to the narrative.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
And there are tons of twists in this, even twists. And I've been around for a while, read lots of sci-fi books. The twist that I didn't actually see coming. Some of it I kind of saw. Some of what the ending, which I won't spoil. It's well worth the play. The narrative on this does pull you through a loop.
Yes.
Particularly at the end. And if you like what's it, like a dark noir detective cyberpunk thriller? Did you ever play the Blade Runner point-and-click adventure years and years ago?
No, I did not.
There was one, and it is actually very good. I advise everybody to play it. It's a great game. And it's got that same just gritty, noir, Black Dahlia type aspects to like the whole playing of the game. It's very much like The Big Sleep, but set in dystopian future. Do you know the book, The Big Sleep? Rare.
No.
Oh, I can almost remember the name, but it's got that great detective feel, which you actually don't get in many games anymore.
You don't.
Like
the last
LA
one,
Noir,
the last
right?
true one I remember. Yes, is LA Noir.
Yeah,
oh
exactly.
Goodness, that was great.
Another great game.
I really want Rockstar to bring that back.
Yes, shame, and that was also with all the trouble that studio went through. But yeah, there's a great the story pulls you through like a good book, right? Did you get the same feeling about this? It's a page turner a lot of the time.
Yes, the story definitely goes from beat to beat. I only later found the large overarching story to be very gripping.
Yes, yeah.
but I really enjoyed this. I don't know how else to say it. I just enjoyed the narrative, just following these characters get answers to their questions.
Yes, exactly. There was even, like, for me, there was trepidation in regards to going back to a point and click. You kind of wonder, with all the games we play now, God of War, Stellar Blade, you know, all these big, like, movie-esque type games we're so used to, would a point and click adventure still grab my attention, right? Because it's just text and it's moving and prod this and kick that and talk to this. But I was shocked how gripped I was into this game. Like, the story is genuinely good. If you look at the reviews of this game, they will tell you the story is genuinely, like, is well worth going through. You want to finish this game.
It's so true. It really is.
But we can't say much else because the spoilers are, like, it would ruin the whole thing. Like, it's like someone telling the end of Sixth Sense to someone, and then there's no point
ladies and gents, it is a slower game. It's not that long. I'm sure you can finish it in a weekend if you sit down.
Oh, yeah, yes, I'd say so.
But maybe just give it a shot. I mean, if you do like stories or good narratives, some good world building, this could be the indie game for you.
Yes, agreed. Anything else narratively, because it's so hard to actually kind of, like, you do what you should play it. The narrative is very good. But anything else?
I think I would just like to point out, I think the world building in this game is extremely efficient. There's a ton of games that has world building up the wazoo, where they don't need 10 novels of world building to introduce you to the world. Mass Effect. Yeah,
as in, like, they just flesh it out with lore instead of actually anything
but just
interesting, right?
What's needed.
Yes, I got you.
I enjoy the efficient world building that this game employs. Like, they talk about a war 10 years ago.
Yes, that's right.
Right, and in this war, that's how this system got its independence. And after it got its independence, this new government got corrupted by the Boryokuden, and that's why they are kind of in charge of the majority of the system.
No, yeah, exactly. And you get...
They don't give you more or less, but it's enough for the story to just go.
Which is a skill. I completely agree with you. It's actually a skill to get that balance, because how many games have we played? Even playing Stellar Blade recently, there's so many things you pick up and books and things you read at the point where it just gets so boring you just go past it, right? You just go, there's another thing, there's another thing, there's another book, and it's this does that, but it's got little bits and it drags you through, and you hit the problems in regards to each, like, subject, be it the war, being the crime syndicate, be it even just hotel staff being dicks and stuff like that. Right? Yeah. But no, it does pull you through like a good read. This is like a good book, which is not really found much. That's what the point and click adventure games kind of do. It's like a book that you play.
Yes.
But it's not a visual novel.
I'm so glad someone was able to make a point and click adventure game that got that.
Yes, exactly. He must be a fan of the old Monkey Islands and stuff like that as well.
Yes. Yeah. And understand what made them special, which I think Nuremberger did in this case.
Yes, I 100%. I 100% agree.
Right. If we can move on to visuals.
Again, it's got that 80s throwback. It's all fun and clean, but it's pixelated.
There we go. There's it.
Right? It's got that old, like you said, it reminds me of Indiana Jones was pixelated. Leisure Suit Larry. Not as bad as those pixels.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that nostalgia feel that this is somebody actually in 2011 made a game, so it felt like late 80s to 90s.
Yes, right? Yes. I talked about the pixel art in this game is one of the highest selling points. There's a ton of nostalgia behind aesthetics like this one. Mm-hmm. I talked about this, I think it was in the Tiny Toon Adventures episode.
Yeah.
Where the limitations of consoles 20, 30, 40 years ago is what made them, that's what made their defining elements back then. And back then it was a hardware limitation. Mm-hmm. Now it's endearing. Right?
Yeah, exactly. No, agreed.
The big polygonal blocks of the N64, the shakiness of the PS1 graphics. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The pixelated style 2D point-click adventures of the NES, Genesis, old PC.
Yeah,
there were limitations that is now endearing and kind of people want that back again.
Yeah, it's a bygone era, isn't it? It's a era like any adult with life. Life is hard. The world is tough. You kind of go back to remember and go back to the feeling as when you were a kid. And there are so many of us in our age where point and clicks were that. And like you said, janky camera angles and PlayStation 1 games and save files instead of checkpoint saves, because those are... I still don't know how we survived having to remember to save ourselves. Like, having to go to a save point each time in a game. And but you're right, there's the nostalgia and the idea that somebody built that again in this game. That's what he was going for. It was that feeling of being having fun as a kid, going into a world, kind of, I sound very Willy Wonka, but of imagination, but where we had the fun in the Day of the Tentacle, we had the fun in Monkey Island, and now we get to do it again. It's such a warm feeling, so to speak.
Yes, it's very difficult to explain.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It makes you wonder, though, if youngsters now try to pick up this game, if they would get the same... They wouldn't get the same feel, but do you think they could play it through?
Probably not. I don't... I mean, if they like a good story, then yes. If they're open-minded to new experiences in their hobby, sure. But, I mean, if it's just another snothead that would rather play Call of Duty, then no.
But sometimes I am, enthused about things going on. I remember a few months ago, I don't know what it was, when that kid just broke the Tetris record.
Yes.
The idea that a 13-year-old of today's generation, Tetris was his game.
Yes.
Of all the games out there, there are people out there that are still the retro or the old school games they're genuinely drawn to.
Yeah, they are.
And congrats to that kid, he knocked it out of the park. He did that was amazing.
Retro gaming is definitely still alive and kicking.
Yes. And the visuals of this game with the whole pixel art and the style of
it's so good. It really is so good. There's massive detail put in the environments so that they don't look ugly, right?
Yes, yeah.
Because that can happen. Right? That can happen very easily because of the pixels and because the city they're in, Pittsburgh on Baracus on Gemini, because it's supposed to look ugly.
Yes.
It can very easily look really ugly. But no, I think Nuremberg managed to make it look aesthetically ugly.
Yes.
Right?
Very much so. Yeah, no. I know exactly what you mean. It's just that sorry, go on.
It's raining all the time.
Yes.
It's murky. I mean, within the first 2 minutes, you can jump into a garbage pit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I did. That's it, the garbage area. Yeah, I agree entirely, yes. It's the grayscale. It's cold. It's rainy. It's weird little bits of newspaper moving that there's pixelated in there.
Yes, even the apartment building is dingy.
Yes, yeah. I noticed that too. Even when you go into each room, everything is still grey. There's no lights on. There's gangsters or the Yakuza types just hanging around every corner, and even the first guy you meet just tells you not to deal with the homeless guy because it's pointless and stuff like that. It's very bleak.
No, because he's on juice.
Yeah, that's right. He's on the juice. Sorry. Isn't there a song? I'm not good with songs that's all about that juice. Is it Lizzo? For some reason, every time I read
I've no idea.
Juice, I pictured a dystopian future where Lizzo is the ruler and they're all just addicted to her juice. Right? That's one of the futures. It's just Lizzo.
Oh, Lord, ruler Lizzo.
Yeah, right? She's the empress of Baracus and all the ones. And she made a drug called her juice. Those things click in my head and then they just don't go away for the rest of the game. So Lizzo is the empress of this whole thing.
Of course she is. And we're calling planets according to 80s sitcoms.
Yeah, exactly. That would be something she would do, I'm sure. She really would. But anyway, like I said, and there was a good foil to when you went to Delta 6 because the facility he's trying to escape from is super modern and clean and white. And
Yes, and the elevator is plugged into the wall.
Right, yeah, that puzzle was bizarre. Like, why would you have a plug up there? But anyway, so that will go into gameplay later. I was like, why would you put a plug up there? That was such... But,
I think... Oh, I had a point earlier that I just completely forgot.
Sorry, it's my Lizzo thing. Just threw it for you.
It is. You're hilarious. The apartment's dingy. Ooh, yes. Oh man, I think Nuremberger nailed the noir aesthetic. The pixelated. Yeah. It's so good, and I think a big reason for that is segue time. The audio.
Yes, that's true. I thought you'd like that.
It's so great. Besides the voice acting, which we can get into, the music. There are some tracks that just, it's so the detective noir genre gets down to this music. There's a specific track called "Another Day's Work."
Okay, yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you pull up YouTube and just search for Gemini Rue, "Another Day's Work," that track is detective noir to a T. It's got the somber piano. Mm-hmm. It's got the somber piano, and then later on, it enters the muted trumpet.
It's got that. I know it's weird to say, but it's got kind of like that dive bar type of noir feel,
yes,
right?
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect. The dive bar feeling.
Where you just go and you order like a 2 fingers of whiskey, and you just sit there, and you just the room's full of smoke, and it's just dark and dingy, and that music plays.
There's hardly any color.
Yeah, exactly. It's just dark, and there's like 3 tables, and like only one of them's occupied. That type of like weird.
And the detective's thinking about a dame that came into his office.
She walked. Of all the officers, was it no? I'm trying to do movie quotes and my brain just melted instantly.
It's fine.
Sorry.
It is the music, specifically that track, Gemini Rue, "Another Day's Work." Oh, it has it down. It is the absolute perfect track for detective noir. And it's in an indie game from 2011.
Right? Yeah, I know. That's the fun little thing. It was the composer was a guy called Nathan Allen Pinard.
Okay.
He actually also voices the receptionist at the...
Really? He does, dick?
Yeah. He just, yeah.
Excuse me, ladies and gents.
And I looked at his work. He actually does quite a lot of work on point-and-click adventures. He's not super famous or super known. He did another point-and-click adventure called Techno Babylon, which name alone makes me want to play that game now, because I'm like, whoa, Techno Babylon, I'm down. But yeah, it is very pretty, and even the use of, as we said before, the rain. You can hear the rain. You can hear when you're outside on the streets, the rainfall is falling down.
Great.
It's got an echo to it. It's fleshed out audio for, like, again, this was a single person made the game, and he obviously either asked for people's help or even potentially paid them. And you can see, again, like with indie games, you can see Nathan or Mr. Pinard here. He loved doing it. It's not just synthesized. It's not just a repeated tune every once in a while. It's literally composed, low density music for the game, and it works so well.
It does. It works incredibly well. I was very impressed by this soundtrack.
And then I looked up the voice actors, because that's what I like doing. Did you unlock the third character you can play, Sayuri? Yes.
I didn't get that far.
She was played by someone called Shelley Shenoy, and the only other thing I knew her from, she played Kate in The Walking Dead, New Frontier, the Telltale game franchise. Not great, this is leading somewhere. Kane was played by Abe Goldfarb, who actually played Professor Kukui in the Pokemon TV series. Do you know who that is if I tell you that?
I know Pokemon, that's it.
The Sun and Moon games had like a Hawaiian sexy professor with his chest out, and like he was all like surfer dude. He voices that in the Pokemon series, which is kind of cool. And then this is the weirdest one. The computer. The female voice on the computer.
Oh yes,
right?
For the computers.
Yeah.
Like the terminal.
Yes, correct. That was done by a lady called Sarah Elmaleh. Right? This is the most bizarre thing, right? She plays Corsica in Hi-Fi Rush. She plays Cube Queen in Fortnite. She plays Elizabeth Carmine in Gears 5. She plays Despondent Pyre in Halo Infinite. I don't know why, but the most famous voice actor is the computer terminal lady who just says things like searching on, or you don't have ID card for the terminal, things like that. It's bizarre, but yeah, she's knocking it out the park.
Jeez, maybe they could only pay per word, pay per sentence.
Yeah,
and they
I
could
guess
only
that's possible.
afford, I don't know, 4 sentences.
Yeah, like I love the idea that everybody else got like $100, but you spent like $1,000 on her to do the terminal voices because maybe this was just when beginning of her career and she's just done really well after.
Okay, that makes sense because this was 2011 and all those other games came after it.
Yeah, which is cool. I love to see her that she was the computer in something, and now she's
isn't that just great when these big contract stars, air quotes, get their beginnings in indie games.
Yeah, and you love to see the history of it. Like I originally just did a point-and-click adventure, and now I'm the voice of Katana or something like that.
Do you know who Concerned Ape is?
No.
Concerned Ape, well, I think that's his Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Was the singular guy, the dude who made Stardew Valley.
Oh, yes, okay. Of course, know that game. Played.
Who was just a guy who made a farming game is now known globally in the indie sphere.
Yes, definitely.
He's making a next game called The Haunted Chocolate Factory or The Haunted Chocolatier.
Okay, yes, I think I read that somewhere.
I'm just a big fan of people that get really big because of indie games. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those stories that you hope happens to yourself, right? In any industry, you start off small and then you get recognized. Like you can imagine, like you said, he put a lot of work into that, and then he put it on. Where did it release first?
What, Stardew Valley?
Yeah, like Steam.
Steam?
Or was it like GOG or something like that?
It must have been Steam.
And then can you just picture it when it started just blowing up? Like game websites started reviewing it and everything like that. It must have been
the big darling of about 4 years ago, Among Us.
Yes, that
exactly. Was just 3 guys.
Yeah, right. It's nice to see those stories, especially in the gaming sphere. Yeah.
Did you see the video of the I think they're Inner Sloth winning awards plural at the Game Awards?
Okay, this is where I'm going. Who the hell's Inner Sloth?
Inner Sloth, that's the people that made Among Us. They're just 3 dudes.
Yes, I know the story. I just don't remember names. I'm just sure you remember.
They're just guys. I think it's 2 guys and 2 girls.
Yeah.
Just on their couch in their apartment having some wine.
Okay.
And they're streaming into the Game Awards,
and
they
cool.
won awards, plural.
Of course, that's so cool because it's almost like they're one of us,
right?
You know what I mean?
Next to them is Neil Druckmann and Christopher Nolan, and
yes.
Then it's just the Inner Sloth folks on a couch eating pizza.
which is like I said, they're one of us. I like that's the thing about the indie games, right? They are one of us. It's they have 9 to 5s, they have kids. It's weird because you always think Eidos execs and
yes, EA, Ubisoft.
Yeah, you see all those executive, and then you see people at home who are working on their game 2 hours a day where they can find time or something like that, and then you see them win big. Oh, it's just a warm feeling for all gamers.
It really is.
It's
and this
admire.
Nuremberg with Gemini Rue was what a predecessor to that.
Yes, exactly.
2011.
No, exactly.
I mean, what indie games did we have by 2011? Braid?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, that's when I like. Was it? I want to say Fez. Was it Fez?
Fez, I think. Sure.
That kind of could have come out then. Yeah, no, it was when the indie scene just started like kicking off in theory, right?
Yeah,
it's a good few years ago. Anyway, anything else audio-wise? We're on a bit of
yes. The one thing I also want to just talk about real quick. The music's great, especially a couple of tracks, but it takes for the majority of the game a back seat in order for the best part of the audio to shine.
You go for it.
The ambiance.
Ah, yes. Okay, yeah.
The ambiance in this game, I think, is done so exceptionally well. If I closed my eyes and I was in any part of this world, I could be transported to that place. I was incredibly immersed by just the ambiance.
Yes.
Just something as simple as an elevator.
Yeah.
It sounds like those noises were ripped straight from an elevator. I wouldn't be surprised. But every single thing was done. It's very difficult to explain ambiance without just letting someone listen to the ambiance.
No, it is super hard. And again,
outside in the rain, your feet splashing in the puddles, walking through an old dingy apartment building, eating lunch in a squeaky clean cafeteria with other people.
Yeah, and the void of noise in the facility, except for when you go to like a door and it goes zoom. You know, that. Strangely enough, weirdly, you said elevator earlier. Blade Runner, the game, the other point and click. My brother and I actually remember the elevator noise in that forever. It's one of those earworms that, and it's atmospheric. It's because it works so well that your atmospheric sound takes you back there, if you know what I mean. It takes you back to that scene and that moment and that joy that you had in this game or whatever. No,
voice acting, music, that's all good and great and super necessary. But ambiance is what gets you immersed.
Yeah, agreed. And it's a skill, right? It's not easy to actually pull off.
Definitely not easy. Now I'm done with audio.
Okay, let's go into gameplay. There's one thing here that bugged me a little bit. It's very nitpicky.
Oh?
Yes. I wish you could run. I know in games in like the 80s and 90s, it was the case. You clicked over there and then you waited for your little man to like slowly pixelate himself to the left. And there are games, and I can't remember which ones, if you double clicked, you used to run. You used to run to A and B and C, which I
remember that from
But this game, he wouldn't run. And I was like, I just want to go to the other side of the screen. Why is it taking... It's only taking 10 seconds, but it's taken 5 seconds longer than I wanted to.
Yeah?
Like, run there. Run. Like, even when there's a scene where you're running away from the Yakuza, whatever, and you have to go on the balcony and stuff.
Yes.
It took him so long. I was like, they're going to find you. If you don't haul your ass a bit, they're going to come out and shoot you.
Wait, but there is... I mean, it's not running, but there is a mechanic that helps.
What was that? Did I miss it? I do miss things in like the little
I think you might have missed it. Once you... I mean, granted, it was a tiny little message at the start of the game. It's very missable.
Yeah, what did it
say? I think I missed it, and then I reloaded a save, and then I saw it.
What, do you have to hold shift or something? Or
no. Once Azriel or Delta 6 starts moving to a spot, you can just press escape to skip the entire walking sequence, and then he'll just appear there.
Oh, that kind of sounds... Okay, that would be faster, but... I know it's one of those weird things.
I know, it's not...
all mouse.
It sucks.
Right, it should be all mouse. It shouldn't be keyboard as well.
Very true, and it also... It takes you out of the immersion, which
jarring,
I definitely do not want to do. No, that's a deal breaker.
Mm. But
you could click somewhere to walk and then press escape and then he'll be there, which is faster, but not preferred.
No, agreed. I wouldn't. Yeah, that doesn't sound great. But I did love the old school interface, the touch, the kick, the look, and the talk. Those little icons, which back in the day was what you had because you didn't have the ability to stop and drag things to your inventory and combine them. You only had the look, the talk, sometimes the sniff.
More.
Yeah, you had
other things. I was going to say that's a simplified version for what the 90s had.
But I loved seeing those little things come into play again. Very, very nostalgic feel to the game again. Just having to press kick this and then him going, I can't kick that, or talk to this. There's no point in talk to that. You know, those fun things that it's silly, but it had those feels of old school gaming again.
It took me a small while to get used to thinking like that again.
Yes, true. Very true.
I'm assuming you had no issue just jumping back in.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But like I said, I'm a tad older than you.
Yeah.
So I probably played a good few point-and-click adventures as a kid than you did.
Yes.
Like I said, I think I potentially played all of them, even like the obscure ones.
I would not be surprised.
So yeah, you go back into the whole mode. One thing I do like, again, I don't know if this would be visually or gameplay, it wasn't one of those games where you had to pixel hunt. Do you know what I mean? Where you'd go in, you were so lost in a puzzle, you'd go into each room and prod or kick or something, everything until finally you found the obscure item or puzzle. Because that, I remember back in the day that used to be so frustrating Especially Monkey Island and some games.
Yes, I was going to say Monkey Island does that. If you put the rubber band on the flower to open the trap door, that makes zero sense.
Yeah, there
you were
was
just
lots
clicking
of
on random things.
Yes, exactly.
To make it work. And it does. It works all of a sudden.
Yes.
But this game does not do that, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. There were so many. It's the pacing thing. It's the puzzles aren't too obscure. They're not too difficult, and they're mainly sensical. Like for some reason, having a plug for your elevator and then moving a box to climb the box.
Yeah, you're right. Somewhat sensical.
Put the plug in for the lift, which is peculiar. But those were good. It didn't slow down the story. You weren't stuck in an hour trying to work out what the hell am I supposed to do with this thing. I just want to continue.
Yes.
They were all
and then the
simple
solution is the most obtuse thing ever.
Yeah, exactly. And then Monkey Island
not
was famous for that. And other games. There were some insane combinations of things like no one would ever think of.
But this game does not do that, thankfully.
It's very... And what did you think... Now, this is where split people of the gunplay.
I can definitely see how the gunplay would be a bit divisive. I'm... indifferent. I don't.
Same.
I'm not a big fan. I think it's a good inclusion to have a bit more agency in a point and click game.
Yeah, like knowing you can die as well, right? Because you could be shot and life and death was
you're definitely vulnerable in those shootouts.
Yeah.
I like I think the timing aspect is fine. I think it's much better than just clicking on the enemy and have him shot.
Yes, very true. Like Lady and Gents, it's kind of like a quick time event. You have to, during shootouts, you have to time when you kind of come from cover, and then you've got this little box which you have to hit almost precisely to get a headshot.
Yeah,
it's
there's a little gauge that needs to fill.
And I get the use, like you said, the use of needing the gunfights, because you're dealing with super criminals, not just nasty people.
Point and click games do not have a lot of agency, so this covers that.
But yeah, I can see how people didn't like it. I just like you didn't really mind it. It wasn't anything that like frustrated me to the 9th degree, and so it made it unplayable. I remember actually, now you say it, like it's not someone you just click. Blade Runner, the game, had the same thing. You did actually click on people, but I know it's weird. We're not reviewing that game, but you could shoot anybody at kind of any time, and so sometimes in conversations you didn't know if they were going to draw their gun. So it left you very suspenseful. You kind of had your cursor over the bad guys for like all the time whilst he was talking, just so you could go draw
for in case.
Yeah, it's like a spaghetti western, just so that you're like, whoa, I got you. That was a good use of it. And this I get. You're an assassin. It would be weird if you were playing an assassin and you didn't get to use your skills in some way.
It would make 100% sense, right?
Yeah,
you are an assassin. You are trained to kill.
Yes. And same with Delta 6. He's also taught to use a gun. I won't divulge as to why or later on, because that destroys the narrative. So yeah, I kind of get it. I don't know. Lots of people didn't like it. I didn't mind it. I don't understand why people got so angry about things like that.
You're not playing Gemini Rue for this bit of gunplay. You're playing this game because of the point and click gameplay.
Yes, I did get stuck on that balcony bit that I mentioned. Not stuck.
Oh, same. Me too. I definitely got stuck there as well.
They're breaking down the door and you've got to hide, and you think to yourself, okay, the room has nothing in it, so you go out on the balcony. And the first time I went on the balcony, I just went out on the balcony, and then I got shot. Then I went out on the balcony and went to the second story. Then I got shot. Then I went out on the balcony and went across the way onto the second story. So then I got shot.
Got shot again.
And then you have to go to the fourth to go on the balcony, cross the wall, go to the bottom one, and for some reason then they don't come out and shoot you.
Really? No, you still get shot. I got shot there.
Oh, I didn't. On the balcony at the bottom, I didn't get shot.
Yes.
They just said no one's here.
You don't get shot when you close the sliding door.
Ah, yes, I forgot that part. You have to close the sliding door.
Yes, because if they see the sliding doors open, they run.
Yeah, they're not the greatest at their job, are they?
No.
They just open the door. Stuck. Everything's closed. Oh, they're not here. Go on, sorry.
I got stuck on my way to the roof.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of stairs that is leading to the roof, and you're being chased by the Boryokuden.
That's right.
You needed to kick down that top door.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
you need to have Matthias push the door and you kick it at the same time.
Yes.
Then it busts open.
That's it, the teamwork bit. Yeah. That's true.
Yes,
that got me for
I
a bit,
got stuck on that door
that's true.
for a long time.
But that's also, again, is kind of the charm to some degree. A puzzle is still supposed to be a puzzle. You're supposed to actually have to
even
work
if it's
at
not
it a bit.
Labeled as a puzzle.
Exactly.
In this game, it still is.
But gameplay-wise, it is what it is. It is a point-and-click. You are just going to go over to objects and say, punch this, look at this, talk this. I liked the little database, like searching thing where you got your little device and you could drag
that was
the
very
names
cool,
across.
and you needed to do it yourself.
Yeah, right. It's like you were being a detective. It's kind of like you had to do the paperwork
like
something. Yeah, it was fun. And like you said, the gameplay this isn't the longest game. It's if you, like I said, if you had a weekend, you could sit down and knock it out pretty quickly.
Yeah,
I'd say.
or if maybe an entire afternoon would be.
Yes. And it's luckily enough, it's not boring, so you could easily that time would fly past.
That's debatable for a lot of people. If you like, if you like a narrative, a good point and click game, you know what you're getting yourself in for, then sure, you'll be entertained by this game. If you're a smarthead that is only entertained by headshots,
yes, true, that's true,
and punching dudes, this isn't for you.
I will always remember I'm very bad at this, nephew, Niklas, when he was I don't know, he was emulating Super Mario 3.
Yeah,
brother-in-law, sorry, and he said this is unplayable. He was playing Super Mario 3, and he said this is unplayable, and that he doesn't get it. And I was like, wow.
No, you
can't
do
say
not
something
get
like
it.
that about Super Mario 3.
You do not get it.
Come on, like, I don't know how he still lives in that house. Like, you can't say that about Super Mario 3. Unplayable. Super Mario 3 is one of the greatest games in gaming history.
It's blasphemy.
Yeah, but I agree in the same context that some people would pick up this game and say there's no challenge, or it isn't exciting, or there isn't enough to do or something. But each their own.
To each their own, that's right. Let's move over to performance.
I had nothing. Did you have any problems?
I had nothing either. This being a pixel art game.
Yeah.
In the performance section, it's definitely going to run it in its favor.
Yes, it's only 200 and something megabytes. It potentially run in your browser. Of course, it had nothing. I had no problems at all.
This game could fit on an old CD, not a DVD, a CD.
CD, no, easy. You'd easily sit on I can't remember, how big was CDs back in the day? 4.2, I think, or was it 2.4?
4.2 gigabytes.
Yeah, how big was
No, that's a DVD. CDs weren't even 500 megabytes.
That's true. No, you're right. Sorry, yeah, I was thinking DVD. Yeah, you're right. It would sit on a CD. It would fit on a CD.
CDs were less than half of a gigabyte. This could easily fit on a CD. Not that even in 2011 that makes a lot of sense using.
I still have a CD-ROM drive in my PC. I haven't used it in years.
No.
But it's still sitting in there, just with its little light, ready to take any old games I give it. Makes me sad. I'm nostalgic now.
This game, I had no performance issues.
No, it was flawless.
Either.
Nothing happened.
Truly.
Okay, value for money then.
This one is... Usually in value for money, I talk about the gameplay loop. And if you enjoy the gameplay loop, you could play a game... You could perpetually play the same game until you're bored with that loop, which could be 2 hours, could be 200 hours.
Yes, very true. Very true, yep.
The gameplay loop for point-and-click adventure games is a hard sell.
It is very hard, yeah, agreed.
I do not think there's a lot... After you've completed a point-and-click game, I don't think there's a lot of reason to go back at all.
No, yeah, it's like that premise when you ever read a good book. It's one of those, you read a good book and you're like, wow, that was great. But for me, if I want to read that book again, 5 or 6 years has to go past where my mind has forgotten what happens.
Yes. Okay.
And it's the same with this game. Like, the replayability after 6 years is not really, value for money, is there? Like,
no.
Don't get me wrong, it's still fun and it's worth a play. But you're right, it's not really replayable in that way.
No, so a game like this, the story's great. Just getting that nostalgia hit, if you have that nostalgia, is well worth the $1.
Yes.
I wouldn't put it more than $20.
Well, I looked on Steam and GOG, or Good Old Games. It was $10 there. And for
Great.
Android and Apple, it was $5. But it sounds like
great.
Yeah,
Perfect.
And yeah, again, like we always say, it's always good to support indie developers. It's so much better than that than supporting big companies at the moment. Some big companies is fine, but yeah, $10 is a $10 experience. That's fine. That's an admission to a movie, right?
Yeah,
it's.
Yeah, I mean, $10 in America is much. I mean, I think something like this is definitely worth.
Yes, and if you get the certain version of it, it comes with a commentary. Version
Really?
Of it. Yeah, that you can listen to about the development of the game and the gentleman himself.
Oh,
yeah. So there's a little added
like
bonus there for people who like that type of thing. But yeah, you're
value
right.
for money. It's a weird conversation for a game like this.
A point and click.
Because there are games that are free to play where the gameplay loop is addictive as hell.
Yeah, Fortnite and
Fortnite,
right?
Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail,
yeah,
Overwatch.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There's a ton that you could play perpetually, and not pay a cent, not pay a
No,
dime.
exactly, yeah, very much so.
But then there are games like this that do cost $10. That's one and done for after 4 hours, and I think it's an interesting conversation. Where is the value? Because sure, there's value in both, but it's different types of value.
It's a shame this didn't have different endings, because that would have bumped up the score. Like, if you could make different choices that came out with different outcomes, that really isn't the case in this game.
No.
It all fundamentally comes linear, especially down at the end, because the final is the final.
But I don't have a problem with linear.
No, I love it. To be honest with you, recently with the go collect everything type game thing, go here, kill this, and just I'm starting to love linear more than open world. Open world's getting too much. But no, I but again, linear gameplay, single story, it does make it hard to rate this as a good replayable or value for money. It is worth playing though, and give $10 to the guy.
That's what's interesting. There's hardly any replayability. The gameplay loop is a hard sell. It's for a very niche market.
It is, sadly.
But there's still value here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
More value in this than 20 hours playing any of the new free-to-play schlock.
I see you didn't name them. I'll name them Suicide Squad. They also lost them millions, which is quite good to hear.
Do you think Suicide Squad's going to be free-to-play in a year or so?
I think possibly, because that would make sense. Really? But they're not wise down at Warner Brothers, it would seem.
No, they definitely aren't.
So I don't see it happening.
Right, but if you hit your head making Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad is not the next play. No. I'm sorry, you're the problem.
I think Suicide Squad, I hope Suicide Squad will just slowly diminish into the night, and just people forget about it. And Helldivers and games such as Helldivers will hopefully come forwards, because they made millions upon millions.
People need to, although Helldivers also has microtransactions, they're minimal.
They are tiny.
People
and
need to take notes from that game.
Yeah, exactly.
The right notes. Just make a fun game with an addictive gameplay loop.
What I love is that people, the industry is learning that gamers aren't dumb. That we're not really that dumb. We love, look at Helldivers. Everybody went to that instantly because it was quite expensive on the off-go, but everything, the super medals, the credits, everything you could grind for if you wanted. You didn't have to pay for it.
And it's not a predatory system.
Exactly, yes. It isn't yes, exactly. It's
the same thing with the original Overwatch in 2016.
Yeah.
Right? It had loot boxes, sure.
Of course,
but you could get loot boxes by just playing the game.
Yeah.
For an hour or two, you'd have 5 loot boxes for not paying a cent.
Yeah,
I'm not
just
crazy
longer,
about the loot boxes, but it wasn't predatory until Activision saw, oh wow, we could make much, much, much more money if we turn this game into a slot. Slot machine.
And Tarkov the other day for $250.
Oh, let's
But
not
anyway,
talk
that's a
about
different tangent. Okay, what did we score this bad boy then?
Yes, so our scores for Gemini Rue, we got on the what's another 80s series? 80s sitcom. Come on, Google.
It's gonna be loads.
Here we go. Yes, we put it on the family. Married with Children.
Oh, nice. Okay, I was wondering where that was going. Yeah, go on.
On the planet Married with Children, it got together, but oh no, they are now criminals. Oh yes, turned cops.
Of course. Yeah.
After 10 years on the service, they are now en route to a facility to save their brother, who turned into the letter grade rating of C.
Which is, like I said, for a point-and-click adventure, the genre and stuff, it being an old game, it's fine. That's fair. I can't imagine fair, a better one. Like it's still an old genre of game, and if it had multiple endings, that would have upped the score quite a lot, and things such as that. But no, it's definitely worth a play, and it's a good C. And C's not a bad game. And again, it's just our opinion. Right?
I would say is average score.
Yeah, it's our opinion. If you love these games, you'll give it an A. If you hate these games, you'd give it an F. It's all relative to what you enjoy. Like anyhow,
I would like to have an A on this show again, please.
Yes, that would be exciting.
Please, can we get an A list?
Yes, list. Why
list if you're listening.
Yes. We've had an A in a while. Our last A was Persona 3.
That was. And it was 2 episodes after Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like he gave us 2 evenings of good food.
That's right.
Anyway, all held the list.
Yeah, it's a good game. C is a good rating. You should play it. Even if you haven't played the genre, this one's got a good story. It will pull you through it. If you like the dystopian sci-fi type of thing, then this is definitely a game for you.
That's the thing. I also think you should play it. I also think there's a very definite niche market for this.
Yes.
You off the bat, you'd know if you like it or not.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. And if you like Blade Runner or even Memento, I'd like Memento vibes. Do you know the movie Memento?
I've heard of it.
Of course. Well, it's the same. He's kind of amnesiac. He's trying to find out who he is or what he is and stuff like that. It's got those same old school vibes to it.
Okay.
So if you like those types of things, you'll like this game.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Critical Arcade Podcast. If you'd be so kind, you could leave us a review or don't. That's fine too. You can follow us on our social media channels on YouTube or Instagram. Big news! Big news. I started my own YouTube channel and I'm using this podcast to plug my YouTube channel. That's right.
How dare you? Sorry. I would say that you heard the gasp throughout the whole gaming industry as they heard that news.
Yeah, if you want some more Nick, go check out my YouTube channel. It's called Nick Hendricks. I think when this episode comes out, I might have 2 videos out yet. Who knows? Maybe
double the amount you had before. So yeah, that's bad.
Right.
That's right. Not bad.
You can also catch me on email. I'm nick@criticalarcade.com.
And I'm dave@criticalarcade.com.
Besides for your email, Dave, where else can we follow you?
Well, you can follow me out and about, but if you do find me, I've become friends with the director of, I can't remember what it's called, something 7 now.
Institution?
What was it? It's Colony 7? Center 7. The
Center 7.
Institute that wipes your memory and perpetually puts you through tests for a certain reason. So if you find me, I will ship you off there, and you will have a life of amnesia and bad food. It's the only thing I can really qualify for that. So if you want to forget everything and you just want to go to a planet somewhere set in a sitcom future, by all means follow me and I'll send you there. It's it's not a nice place.
No, it really isn't. Don't follow Dave. Rather, support us on Patreon for exclusive content like our post-show and Critical Cinema, where I finally watch movies.
Yeah, he's got lots of movies he's just never
I've
watched.
Got a lot of catching up to do. Dave.
It's sad. Yeah.
What have we got lined up for next week?
Well, next week's game, again, we're on a retro type classic, right? It's Sega Genesis, so I'm used to calling it Mega Drive because that's what it was in Europe. We're playing the Sega Mega Drive Sega Genesis Sweetheart Gunstar Heroes. Like a Metal Slug-esque playthrough of saving the world. Which look forward to.
I haven't played this game.
Never played it. I've always heard of it, but never picked it up. So
you've not played it?
I've never originally played this game.
Oh, man.
No.
I've played this game probably 15 years ago at this point.
Well, yeah, the console-wise, that's easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I look forward to it. Nothing better than pick up the old Sega controller or Sega game and giving it a good go.
If you want to listen to us talk about Gunstar Heroes of the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive, tune in next week and we'll see you then. Cheers!
Cheers!